I love intuition. And if you begin to pay attention to how people speak, it's out there in the world what my gut's telling me. I have a feeling. I don't know why I'm having this impetus to do something, but I know that it's the right thing to do. So we use the word intuition as a human, and we use the word instinct when it comes to nature, animals. Instinct means the ability to make a complex and specific response to environmental stimuli without using reason. That's what intuition is. It's not using your reasoning, it's using that, for lack of a better term, your gut feeling. And it is really the whispers of your spirit, it's your whispers of your soul. And it's happening at this unconscious level. In our conscious level, we're really looking at the world through our mind and how we can interpret things, and also our analytical brain. There is this energy force that we live in. Imagine a big cord, an electrical cord. We're plugged into the entire universe. It's the only problem is us, because if we have electricity coming into our house, and let's say we have a weather event or the pole goes down, it cuts it off. And so we do that with ourselves in life by cutting ourselves off from our source, which we I use the multiplicity of terms for source: consciousness, God, creator, universe, all of that, because it's really just the same thing. So when we cut it off, we can't hear those whispers. And because we also live in a world of noise, there's so much noise in our lives that it's unbelievable. And it isn't just the noise of every day, it's the noise that we have from screens. We're looking at a screen and we're paying attention to what that's saying, but we're excluding the rest of the world, and we're not allowing ourselves to receive those beautiful downloads from spirit, from ourselves, that will guide us to go where we want to go. And it's becoming more and more evident that the world is listening more to their feelings, their gut, this intuition than ever before, because it's been a very masculine world that we live in that's very analytical, figure outable, and the feminine is all about the intuition. So if we really learn how to listen to our intuition, we can make decisions that are very important in our life without feeling fearful, without second guessing ourselves. And so when I talk about everyday intuition or practical intuition, it's really coming from that place that we can make our lives on course the way we desire, because we're listening to, first of all, what our heart desires, and then we're listening to what steps, what direction, what action, what sacred action we want to take, so that we achieve or actually demonstrate in our physical world those things that we desire. If you are ready, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a process of experiencing what intuition can feel like, because it's not about you forcing it, it's about allowing it. The first thing I would like for you to do, and I'm going to do a quick little meditation just to bring us into a space of receptivity. And then we're going to go through a process of asking ourselves some questions. So I'm going to have you, if you have a piece of paper, grab a piece of paper so you can write your questions down for yourself. Grab a piece of paper if you need to, and a pen. And then I'm going to just do a quick little meditation. Let your eyes flutter shut for a moment. Put your feet flat on the floor, or if you're in a chair, sit cross-legged, whatever feels comfortable for you, but allow yourself to be grounded. Your hands in your lap, and just begin to notice your breath, this beautiful life-giving force that we take so for granted because we always know that it's going to be there. And as you notice your breath, is it slow and methodical? Is it short? Is it in your chest? Does it go all the way down to your belly? Just notice your breath. And as you do, allow yourself to take one deep breath in slowly to the count of 4, all the way down to your belly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then release it to the count of 8. Slowly blow it out through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And take one more breath just like that. In by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in this very relaxed state, just connect with that part of you that knows the answers to everything. Maybe that's somewhere in your body, in your heart, or in your throat, or in your abdomen. Wherever that is for you, be consciously aware of right now. Where is that knowingness? It isn't actually in your body, but we feel sometimes that it is. Maybe it is your gut. Maybe it is your heart. And then just imagine this cord, like an electric cord. It's attached from the top of your head directly into the infinity of the universe. And as you do that, you are plugging in to this infinite knowingness that each and every one of us already has. We are already infinitely knowing. We have the answers to every question that we will ever ask, easily and effortlessly. Feel the energy of what that would feel like. And if it's a challenge, just pretend. We were given this beautiful, creative mind to imagine, to pretend, to create. That there is this connection into this vast field of oneness that you are connected with. And it is the source of all knowing. To just be open to this space and this field and this infinite potential and possibility as we move through these questions. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to write down 3 questions that you would like answered for yourself. These are about you, about your life, about your future. Whatever's coming up, let that fully come into your mind. Because those questions can be answered by you easily and effortlessly. These don't have to be complicated questions. They're not yes or no questions. They may be things that you want to know within the next week or months or year. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just allow yourself to have 3 questions come up that you have been wanting an answer to. And in a moment, when I ask you to open your eyes, I want you to take that moment and write those questions down. And when you're ready, just let your eyes flutter open and write those questions down. So one of the things about the way that we ask questions in life in general is that they're very vague. So I'm going to talk about the way that those questions that you wrote down are framed, and then we'll see if we can hone in on them a little bit more clearly. One of the things that is so fascinating is that we do ask these questions in very broad and vague terms, such as, will I have enough money? Will I be happy? Should I take a new job? And when you ask questions like that, the universe responds to your energy. And if our energy isn't clear about our question, we can't get clear answers. Will I have enough money? Can you tell me some of the things that are vague about a question like that? Money for what exactly, Donna? So, and what is enough, right? We do
Yeah.
this a lot in our daily life. We ask questions. Well, is it going to be okay for me? Is it going to be good for me? We're very, very unclear about our questions. So therefore, we are going to get an unclear answer. Should I become an artist? Should I become something? Right? It's not narrowing it down to the place that we can get a clear answer. So let's use the example of, will I have enough money as a jumping off point. What's a more specific thing you could ask? And I'll give you an example. Enough money to pay my bills. Will I have enough money to pay my bills? Enough money is such a vague understanding, and our energy is the language of the universe. So it understands our energy, and our energy is, will I have enough? But we aren't even sure what enough is because we aren't clear. What's some other examples of the way we could reframe, will I have enough money or will I have enough?
Like for a house or to travel
Right,
or
right,
whatever we want to do.
right, exactly. So another example of these kind of vague questions is, will I be happy? Okay. Will I be
About what?
happy? What is that? What does even happy mean? Right? Happiness is a subjective term and it means so many different things to so many different people. So looking at, will I be happy? Can I have a question that says, will I enjoy, and fill in the blank, right? What's another example of a question that's taking that vague question, will I be happy, and reformulating it to something else?
Like if I would be happy at a job or in a relationship, in my
Right,
new house. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get
right.
what you're
And
saying.
yeah, so the thing is that when we begin to understand that when we get very clear with our questions, we get clearer answers. And the answers are going to come in all different ways. They're going to come in so many different ways. I've always said this, you could get your answer on a billboard. You could get your answer streaming a song on your Spotify while you're driving in the car. They come from everywhere, and we aren't looking everywhere because we get locked into our problem rather than expecting the answer. So, what I want to do at this point is I want you to look at your questions that you wrote down, your three questions, and look and see if it's clear. So, is it vague or is it clear? So, take a look at your three questions that you wrote down, and let's look at how to refine them.
My first one was, where am I moving to? I added on May 1st because I gave my notice that I'm leaving here. So I made it more specific by adding in
Yes.
May 1st.
Yes. That's great.
And
Because
then
you see what you did, because where am I moving to? Right? That could be next year, it could be
100
tomorrow,
years
it could
from
be
now.
5 years from now, right? And so
Yeah.
just being that one little specificity is going to give you a different way to receive
I
an
think I'm
answer.
even going to put
That's
the
really
year in
cool.
there too. So it doesn't get
Yeah,
confused.
yeah, yeah.
It
Yeah,
gets
for
next
sure.
May 1st.
Right. Very specific.
Yeah, and I have a question to the questions. So, like, here was one of my questions. when will my business take off? That's
Ah,
kind of kind of vague, but
vague. Yep.
but from other teachers and
Hmm.
thought leaders on,
Yep.
you know, they say, well, don't be, attached to the how, right? Don't be attached to the how. Just how do you want to feel?
To feel, right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. So there's a couple of things here because what Donna's asking is, where will I move on a
Mhm,
specific date? So in
mhm,
other words, she's asking for direction. So
mhm,
intuition is direction.
mhm,
What we're talking about, what you're talking about is vision.
mhm,
So and I'll do a a thing one night on visioning, because visioning is listening to spirits whispers about what our purpose is basically in life, or our passion. And that comes first. Generally
mhm,
speaking, we do a visioning. So let's say we visioned and you got a vision that your heart's desire is to create another business. I'm just using an example.
mhm,
So then you take the intuition questions and say, okay, what's my next indicated step to go to whatever that process is? Because it's really important, as you said, it's not about outlining, it's about really understanding that we are getting direction of what next, because we live in a 3D world. We're taking action. I just would love to sit around and Om and Zen and all of that. And it's a very creative process. And yet we live in the 3D world. So we actually have to have movement forward. So, what is our sacred action for something specific that we're moving in that particular direction? So, in that case, with your business, take off, that's, as you know, that's vague. So what is something that could be something more specific? Because what is the feeling? That's where you can put this feeling in. What is the feeling that you want to achieve if your business were to take off?
um, money coming in. That's what would that feeling be?
That's not a feeling.
Yeah, what would
So it is about what kind of
And
feeling
yeah,
when you have, if you were to have more money in your business, Mary,
uh-huh.
what would that allow for you to be, not have in your life,
Hmm.
be?
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
would you show up in the world? How would you get up every day?
Uh, purpose,
Yep,
purpose,
you would get up with purpose, right?
purpose. Um, confident. I feel more,
Confidence,
I'd get the momentum would be going, for being more
right?
confident.
So let's just use those three instead of when will my business take off,
Mhm.
right? When will my life and my business express in me those qualities, right? Because
that's
Mhm.
nice.
those are definable, right?
Mhm.
Because you'll know every day when you wake up if you're having those experiences. This is not something like Donna's got a specific date because she is given notice and she's moving. So there's two different components going on here. Yours is you want to live that way every day,
Mhm.
right? And you can define it down a little bit more as you go forward. But for now, that's a really good start to
Mhm.
say what action would be in my highest and best to see or express these in my life. Because it's really important that it's that feeling that you're trying to experience. It's never the money. Like I've been teaching about abundance forever. It's never the money. It's always the feeling that we get from
Mhm.
having whatever we believe the money creates for us. And it isn't the money that does it,
Mhm.
it's us and our energy. And it can come from all sources if we are open. Use that for that first question. Let's work on the other two real quick. And then I'm going to do a quick little process with you. You're going to get a much better answer that's
Mhm.
more expansive. What we're doing is we're expanding our openness to receive bigger answers. So what we
Got
want to
it.
do is understand who we're becoming and become that now. Be that feeling, but it'll give you different answers and different breadcrumbs that the intuition is going to guide us towards. Here's what we're going to do. Keep the two questions and we'll leave the third one the way it is because I want to finish this last bit. So what I'm going to have you do is I want you to just look around where you're at. Look around your room, and I want you to pick something. And I want you to just let your intuition guide you to what object you're going to pick. And then I want you to look at that object, and I want you to write down everything about this. What do you
Hmm.
feel that's calling you about that? Describe it. What feelings is it bringing up for you? It's whatever is coming to you. There's no right or wrong way to do this.
So
Just imagine whatever the energy that's coming from this. It's giving you a vibration. It's giving you a feeling. It's there for you for some reason in your life. Just write down all of the things that are coming up for you. Don't think about it. Don't edit it. Maybe it's whimsical. Maybe it's intense. Maybe it's dark. Maybe there's a color that's coming through. So I want you to take what you just wrote, just look at what you wrote and look at it a little deeper. What is pulling itself out of that conversation? So I'll just give you an example of an activity because I do this. I Objects are just fantastic because they're there. Everything is here to serve us. But I have this Blue Yeti microphone. I don't think you can see it very well, but I mean it's something simple as that. I've did this exercise with myself on many different things, but that one I thought, oh well, let me just do it with this because it's just a hunk of something. But it's amazing how many things come out when you open your mind and let things uh, be interpreted by the universe. So it's hard, it's rigid, it's the sound goes in and out. It was uh there's the word blue on it. So I didn't know why blue was there, but I wrote it down. Um, it was something that I felt like I needed to get an upgrade to. And so all of these things I was looking at in a microphone and I'm writing them down. Now, what I want you to do is take that and interpret it so I could see that there was a message that was trying to come through of that there were things in my life in general that I needed to upgrade, that I put, possibly being rigid about, right? So I'm taking a object, I'm writing things down, and then I'm allowing myself, I'm not interpreting for you, I'm allowing myself to say, oh, what is the message that's trying to come through here? So look at what you wrote and then interpret it with respect to your life or things or qualities that you already know, but maybe you're resistant to them or you're blocking them out or you're in denial about them. And then come up with a version of what that message was or that answer is. Because
This
this
is
is
cool.
you, this isn't me. Did you see something, Donna, in your words?
I did. I just recently, like about a year and a half, started painting, and it's a painting of the moon. And my first word was enjoy. Second one was love. Then I wrote kind of dark because it was an eerie kind of looking night, like kind of a spooky, but it was pretty. To me, that's pretty.
Yeah.
And then I put love looking at the sky. And then my last one was challenging because it was to get the clouds and everything the way they were and just to get the right colors and stuff. It was a bit challenging. So I'm kind of light, kind of dark. I like I enjoy stuff, but I also like challenge. I like challenges. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
give me a challenge.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. That's exactly what that's about. So it'll be more fun when I tell you what this is about. What came up for you, Mary?
well, I it was this coffee cup.
Hmm.
I'm looking at it right now. I shouldn't bring it into the camera so you could just hear my descriptions. Um, it is um it's I got it for like a third of the price. I bought it at Starbucks and it was like in their, their bin, their close-up bin, but it was like a third of the price. And it's, oh,
Mhm.
this is really cool. It's cool. It's bronze color on the outside, black on the inside. The design is clean, it's clean and contemporary, cool. It makes me feel good using it. I mean, I feel good when I use it. It's not dishwasher safe, so it's not, which is
Not
weird.
perfect. Yeah,
It's not what?
Which is
it's
that,
not
It's not what?
perfect.
which would not be practical, but and not what I usually would buy. But I like it. I like using it. I like it, even if I have to wash it by hand.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So here's the big reveal.
yeah.
What you just did with your object is your answer to question one.
Hmm.
So, Donna, now the thing is it's not going to say, here's where you're going, right? But look at all of the information that's been given for what you're looking for. Okay. Now, this isn't that, you're going to go out tomorrow and you're going to know exactly where you're going. However, it gives you the guidance, right? Because these are always breadcrumbs. This is every single day we do our intuitive work, right? It's all day, every day. And you're expecting to see where I'm going in the direction. So some of those beautiful um, feelings that you shared about that painting are exactly as you're saying this, because I knew was what was coming up, and I thought this is amazing. You're basically describing where you're going to live,
So I'll
and so
enjoy it. I love it. It'll be kind of
yeah, but
dark.
so yeah, but I mean all of those qualities. So now when you go out and you have that energy, right? You know that feeling. Those are the things that I love so much. What you are doing is sending out that signal, that vibration that when it's going to come right to you. It's going to come right to you. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to go searching for it. You just stay in the vibration. Because when you were describing it, I was like, I'm all in. I could see it so clearly, the energy that you are describing and creating. So it's on the way.
Awesome.
Okay. All right,
Awesome.
Mary. So about all of those things that you described about that cup and those qualities, and that's what the question was, is how do I feel these ways, right? We talked about that.
Yeah.
So, but you were describing some really quirkiness about yourself, right? That I wonder if you're allowing those things to show up in that thing called business, but we weren't talking about it. We are talking about your life and how
Mhm.
you want to show up every day. So,
Mhm.
all of those energies, it's answering that question that says, how do I do this? Or what is it that's, how is my business going to take off? How am I going to feel these ways? It just showed you, but you showed yourself. I didn't do it. You did it.
Mhm.
But can you see how bringing those qualities in that you talked about with that cup are part of you
Mhm.
that sometimes may be pushed down because we might be afraid to express them?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we can do this every day, all day. Like literally, there's all kinds of different ways to do this without just one particular modality. And I'm going to give another one of these where we can talk about some different paths because it's so fun. Once you start doing this, it's playful, it's fun. It's like a being surprised every day. It's like, oh my God, I would have never expected it to show up like that because that's
Yeah.
how wonderful it is. Because
Pay-
there's so much more than we ever expected.
It's paying attention to
Yeah,
things.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Being aware, paying attention, being aware. It's fabulous. And it's just
Mhm.
so joyful, which is exactly what this is, what this intuition is. You all have it, everybody has it, and now it's just time to build that muscle to begin to practice it. So